What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'm going to give you guys a very important update involving Donald Trump's tariffs that caused the market to dip a bit, and why Tesla and the market is still showing a lot of resilience as we're seeing buyers trying to defend. But just know that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposits $2,000 and you're guaranteed at 30, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market's going, I just want to say that Tesla's been on a very, very nice uptrend so far, and now its EMAs are starting to slope a bit upwards, which is a very, very good sign. However, why did we see this sell-off, right? Tesla ended up pumping a bit after CPI came to about this like 250 area. Then it dumped all the way back down to about 240 before it started to bounce again. We also saw SPY dump quite a bit. As you guys can see, we got this sell-off all the way down to about 553. Despite the fact that we're holding like a potential inverse head and shoulders, let's talk about the news, and I'll break down exactly what this means for Tesla as it's doing a good job at holding up. So there was some news that came out. The good news initially, which is why the market ended up gapping up, was that CPI came out as or below expectations. And that's actually quite good for the markets. CPI, as you guys can see, the numbers are right here. You guys can just take a screenshot if you want of this, but everything was below or as expected. So the market started to push. But then there was big news involving Donald Trump. Donald Trump has also increased his tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to 25%, removing exemptions from his 2018 tariffs on metals. That's some very, very big news that came out. So please keep that in mind. Donald Trump made this big move. And then after that happened, we had these things that caused the market to dip. The first thing is that the European Union made an announcement that in retaliation to these tariffs, they're going to be increasing tariffs on American products. And that's some big news. So there are more details to come out, but as of right now, the EU has said that they're going to be once again um, increasing tariffs on about $28 billion worth of goods. That is some big news. It's not just going to be affecting steel and aluminum, but also textiles, home appliances, agricultural goods, motorcycles, peanut butter, jeans, and the list goes on. So that's not the best of news. And then also, we had Canada doing the same thing. So Canada also now wants to retaliate. So they're going to be increasing new trade duties on about $21 billion worth of US goods in response to Donald Trump implementing universal steel and aluminum tariffs, right? So very, very big news so far. This is just a game of chicken where one country's increasing tariffs and the other countries are retaliating. Then, we're just going back and forth. So far, not the best of news. That's part of why the market got a bit of a dip. However, I do want to say that what is decent is the fact that March 12th is today. This is when Donald Trump increased these tariffs. And I don't see Donald Trump having much scheduled up until like April. So there's a chance that he might not be talking as much about tariffs. He might slow down a little bit. At least that's what the schedule is suggesting. And then that could actually give the market some leeway, right? If he doesn't really impose more tariffs for some time, for like a couple of weeks, that could help the market out. We do have the reciprocal tariffs coming out in like April, so maybe by then things will be affected again. So there's a chance we could get 2 weeks of maybe relief if Donald Trump does not impose as many tariffs. Another thing that's going to affect the markets is this. The US House of Representatives has passed a funding bill, okay, that's going to keep the government funded through September. Now, it's passing on to the Senate. They have to pass this by Friday to avoid a government shutdown for the president to sign it. So this could be a big factor affecting the markets. Please keep that in mind. Then we also have the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire deal. So far, Ukraine has agreed. We're waiting for Russia's parts. That's another big factor. Then we have PPI data coming out for tomorrow. So there's still a lot of factors affecting this market. So far, I am seeing resilience. I am seeing buyers who are trying to defend. Looking at Tesla now, if you look at our 30 minutes time frame, we're making higher highs and higher lows, and we're trying to slope upwards in terms of our EMAs. Also, in terms of levels, okay, I don't want to see Tesla lose around this like 240 area. If we do lose this, we could be dipping back down towards the lower 230s. As long as we're above 240, we're going to be looking for a test of 248 to 250 again, which if Tesla could close above 250 or even hold above that, we have the potential to push to this high around 262 to fill this gap. So there's upside potential in Tesla for a temporary move up. This shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of you guys because I was talking for many days about the bullish divergence that was developing ever since we got that like 15% down day. I did mention to you all we had this big bullish divergence, and that's actually panning out so far. We did call out this move back up. So for now, Tesla's almost made back the losses we had from that 15% day down. We almost made back most of the losses. So that's good so far. I think this could try to push a bit more as long as we don't end up losing like 240. We're looking like we have potential. In terms of SPY, I want to mention that we're looking decent. So, yes, we dumped. However, there is the possibility of an inverse head and shoulders here. Our main support is going to be 552. If we lose that, we're going to turn more bearish. And if we could get back above 560, look for 565. If we break that, we're bullish. Break 565, and this is going to push a lot more. We have a possible inverse head and shoulders setup, which tends to be good, at least for bulls. So we'll see if this pans out or not. Please keep this in mind just to be safe. This is actually very important. On top of this, I want to mention that we have the QQQ with a very similar setup. We want to see this break 480 to turn bullish. We obviously failed to do that in the morning, but so far there's an inverse head and shoulders. If we end up losing 470, we could be dipping back down to 467, which is the low from yesterday. If that fails, we turn bearish. As long as we hold this inverse head and shoulders and break past 480, we could be pushing back up to 485. The Russell also has an inverse head and shoulders here. So long as we don't lose 198, we could be pushing for 202, then eventually these higher levels. On ES, we have an inverse head and shoulders. I need to see this get back above 5,600 at the very least, and eventually 5,680. Break that, and we're going to be back to bullish. So we're seeing if this is going to pan out. I also want to mention that when you zoom out on ES, this has a nice setup because we have this channel right over here. This was our main support where this trend line is. Notice that we've been testing this support right here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. We've been testing this support right here. We're actually holding it so far, so that's a good sign so far. So we'll see if this lasts. We need to see if ES can continue this bounce. Let's see if we could get back above at least 5,600, and then we could push even more. On NQ, we also have a, maybe not like an inverse head and shoulders, but we're making higher lows, which is a good sign. I need to see NQ break 19,800 and 20,000. For an attempt to get to 20,000, we are showing potential. Bitcoin is making higher lows. I want to make sure that this doesn't really break 80,000. As long as we're above that, we could be trying to get back up to 83,000 or above. What's good is Nvda is pushing. This is good for the markets, okay? Because if Nvidia loses 111, we could turn back down. As long as we're above 115, we're looking for 117 and 120 is our targets. We're looking a little bit more bullish if we could hold support. Tesla's trying to push back up. We also have a trend line to watch for, but it's looking quite good. 250 could be coming. So far, it's more bullish. Apple's a little bit weak because of the fact that it has some news that came out from Morgan Stanley as they cut their 2025 iPhone shipment forecasts a little bit, which could be affecting their revenue projections. As a result of this, the share price is down a bit, but we'll have to see if we could reclaim the 220 soon. We'll see if we bounce, but for now, we're trying to base at 215. So as long as we hold 215, we'll see if we bounce back up. On Coinbase, we dipped, but we had a bullish divergence, and we'll have to see if we make a higher low. As long as we don't lose like 175, if we can make a higher low, this could try to bounce back up towards 198. If we break that, we're easily pushing for 212. Amazon, same setup, inverse head and shoulders. As long as you don't lose 192, we could try to get back up to 198. And if we break that, we're looking for 202 plus. For Meta, we have an inverse head and shoulders. As long as we don't end up losing like 594, I could be looking for an attempt to continue this push. I want to see us break past 618. If we break that, we're looking for the 620, 625 plus. Microsoft needs to break 386 to push even more towards some balance around 388. If we lose 375, we could dip more, but I want to see if we could get back up to 386 and 390. Google also has resistance at 170. If that breaks, we're looking for essentially 172. So give this some time, especially with this inverse head and shoulders. One last thing, the VIX is rejecting here. We have these gaps to fill below. So we'll have to see how things end up going here, right? There's a lot of gaps on the VIX. Is the VIX about to get a big rejection? Because if we can't hold 25.52, it's going to likely start dipping, especially because we have a bearish divergence. This is a nice bullish confluence for this overall stock market, right? If the VIX starts dumping, this is a good sign for us that the market's trying to bounce. And we're showing a lot of signs the market's trying to base. Let's see if these levels hold, and this could be a good sign so far. Tesla's looking resilient, so we'll see if this continues to pump as well. The 4 hours looking bullish. Let's see us break 248 soon. If that breaks, I'm looking for the 250 area, then eventually that gap fill for 262. We have potential. Tesla's doing good so far. I hope we don't get any more massive bad news. Hopefully the news involving the tariffs subsides for just a bit. Maybe Donald Trump will not be talking as much about them for just a week or two before he starts to impose more of them by April. So that can maybe help the market get a temporary bounce, not to mention our data, and then two more things involving like, the House and all this. I would say the Senate and also the funding bill, not to mention the Russia Ukraine deal. So we'll see, guys, how this is going. So far, market's holding up. We'll give it some time to develop, and we'll see how well Tesla does. It has potential so far, showing some signs of a bounce. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.